What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen. This is episode 2, and with me, as always, I have I have Blue Spade. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, so of course this continues the hidden inventory arc with both Geto and Gojo protecting this girl named Riko against the Q organization? That's what they're called?
Yeah, I mean mainly the Q organization, but there's also the other organization that supposedly the one Megumi or Fushi. Yeah, I think Fushiguro is involved with to some extent.
Yeah. We see Fushiguro a lot in this episode. Mainly I guess just blowing away his money, gambling a lot. And of course he does get asked about his son, but of course he pretty much just dismisses it.
That's something
saying,
I was wondering though. Is
who's-
it his older brother or is it his father that this who this character is?
I think. Oh yeah. Well, Toji Fushiguro in this one, this this is the father.
Oh,
He's
okay.
we actually
Because I'm not sure if it gets mentioned
that
that who he is, like what his relationship is to Megumi.
Yeah, I mean it's not clear as of right now. Megumi gets mentioned in this episode just only once when when Fushiguro gets asked about him, but he just basically just dismisses him, saying like, "Who is that?" Like just pretending like he never existed or something.
Yeah, so obviously I think we can take from that they probably don't have a good relationship, or maybe Megumi doesn't even really know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Megumi would probably have like some sort of relationship with the Zenin clan, but as of right now, it's like, yeah, we pretty much get an idea of who Toji Fushiguro is in this particular episode. I mean, I'm pretty sure we will get to see some extent of his of his supernatural abilities, probably in the next set within the next set of episodes, but mainly he's just going about his plans of how he's going to end up dealing with Riko and of course Gojo and Geto being assigned to protect her.
Yeah, well, and speaking of which, too, we kind of course we get an formally introduced to Riko in this episode, and sort of we get an idea of, I guess, the relationship dynamic between her and Geto and
yeah, so we do get to see like a little bit comedic shenanigans of of course Riko, of course, not getting along too well with both Gojo and Geto. Just initially she thought that they were trying to kidnap her, but of course they reassure her that that they're trying to protect her. But of course Riko instead instead of wanting to receive protection, she just she goes back to school the next day as if nothing's happened. But of course Gojo and Geto are insistent that wanting to protect this girl, and of course they're at the same time they're still trying to deal with members of of the Q organization.
Yeah, and of course one of which does end up invading the school and getting into a fight with Geto.
Yeah, and of course Gojo, of course, at the same time goes into the school, leading into more comedic shenanigans about other girls in the school taking a spitting over Gojo. Same with the teacher, just just blatantly offering her phone number to Gojo, which is kind of funny. But of course, during that mayhem, Gojo, of course, just takes Riko with him, and then of course has to fight against I think one of the members of the Q organization. I think it was was it the guy with the paper bag head or something? Or was it Geto facing off against
It was no, yeah, it was the guy with the paper bag on his head, I think, as Gato was fighting this other guy who was this sort of an old man, I think.
Yeah.
It would kind of get an idea of I guess what Geto is capable of, because it seems like he just kind of shows him illusions at certain points to try to fool him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, apparently just showing him a vision of the old man's dog during his past life. But of course, like Geto takes advantage of the situation and immediately takes him down. So Gojo, of course, like with of course, grabbing Rico, pretty much just fights against like of course, the guy with the paper bag head, but also dealing with copies of this guy's as well.
Yeah. Yeah, like he can. Yeah, I guess he can make duplicates of himself or something. I guess it might be one of those tricks, like find the real one.
Yeah, but like I said, eventually Gojo is able to defeat this guy. When I guess you could say he tried to use one of his techniques, but apparently at that time he doesn't know how. I don't think he really perfected that ability. So instead, he just pummels the guy. And then of course, soon after that, Rico receives a text message that her maid Misato gets tied up and captured, and that's where the episode ends from there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's another pretty good episode. Of course, we just kind of have further confrontation with the Q organization. The other organization's a bit of a mystery at this point, because we just, they're just in contact with Fushiguro, and we're not exactly sure what exactly he's planning either. But I mean, so far I've been enjoying it. Of course, we just are following different characters, and it's in the past, so it's kind of a little bit different from where we left off in season 1, but it seems like it's just built up to what's going to end up happening later on in season 2.
Yeah, and of course, so I guess it's we're definitely gonna it's pretty. I guess you could say this episode is setting up the eventual confrontation between Fushiguro and of course Geto and Gojo, who are still trying to protect Rico, but now they're getting into a situation where they have to save her maid as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I don't have too much else to say about the episode. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
It was a good episode. Kind of funny, like in some instances with with some of its comedic moments. But yeah, it gives us an idea about Fushiguro, about like how he's going about planning his upcoming confrontation with Gojo and Geto, and of course how he's going to end up dealing with Rico as well. But of course, like I said, it also gives us an idea of what kind of person he is in terms of like what his relationship with Megumi as well.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's a bit of an enigma in terms of what he's going to do. I feel like he's going to maybe come out of nowhere and become maybe like this big villain for this particular arc. Like, I mean, who knows? But I guess we'll see. But yeah, so that all makes sense, guys. Until next time, we will see you all later.